Um, God's doing several things to make people live when they're in the grave. Um, he rises the dead, and we know that because of Lazarus. But it also says in Ezekiel, can these dry bones live? And he said, this is the whole house of Israel. And basically, Ezekiel put his hands together and did a few different things and wrapped wrapped bone marrow with bones and wrapped bone with sinews and stuff that would put a human body back together. So apparently they know how to put a human body back together, or, well, of course God does, but that may be what he's talking about when he's going to release some people from hell. He's releasing them from the power of the worms and the grave and the waterlessness place. Yeah. So but he can do that. But he's not gonna, like, he's gonna come back with his saints to reign for the 1,000 years before they go live in their like paradise, which is a city built foursquare. Um, and we think that you can just think you want to be with someone and be with someone there and stuff like that. That there's strange abilities there, like psychics and stuff like that. But it's in a good way. It's like a seer for the Lord. There's been seers and stuff like that in the Bible that were good seers, and it because they were doing miracles, because it was in the name of God, that they don't call it magic, or they would call it magic if it was in any other name. But they anyway, he knows how to put people back together, um, and he will do that apparently for Israel, and he's going to reward Israel double what they've lost or what they've contributed, um, because he said it's not going to be anymore where you work and do all the labor and other people reap the rewards. It's going to be if you farm and you make crops, you're going to drink the wine from your grapes. You're going to eat the wheat that you make from your crops. So I don't know how that's going to be either, because we use plowers and professional everything these days for our farms because they're government owned. But apparently it's going to be more like farms and greenhouses and stuff like that. It's going to be more there on your own property where you grow your own food. But I'm sure there'll still be trade and stuff. I just don't know how much, because the boats in the sea may go down, unless somebody saves Tyre from being in Sheol, covered in worms, because she may not be able to do too much if she's covered in worms. I don't know what her capabilities would be, because if her brain's rotting and she's covered in worms, she may not be able to do all the things that she could do before, either. Um, but we'll just have to see how that goes. But like I said, I think it's going to be where they reign for the 1,000 years first before they go into the new heaven and the new earth. Um, and supposedly it's supposed to be like a transition there, where people going into the new heaven and the new earth kind of go to the new heaven and the new earth, but they have to stand before judgment day too at some point. But they're in the new heaven and the new earth, from what I can tell, because God's already raptured them up or whatever. These people will be in the new heaven and the new earth and won't have been beheaded. The people that get beheaded have to get raised from the dead, and Jesus will raise them all from the dead, like put the bones to the bones or whatever he was doing in Ezekiel. But they'll be raised from the dead to live and reign with Christ for that 1,000 years, that very long time. And during this time, the beast is going to be trapped in hell, apparently, from what I can tell. And he's not going to be let out until the 1,000 years is over. Hopefully when they let him out, they'll have taken some of the worms away or something. But I shouldn't be laughing, because it's really not funny. But But anyway, that's kind of what's going on with the two Earths, because it's kind of hard to see what's going to happen when they're put together.